All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. Esau is planning a great reset, right? And if you go on the internet and you type in the Great Reset, you'll find you can find a PDF document that goes into some of the things that Esau is planning on resetting, right? And they've gave it 3 different chapters, and the chapters are like, one of the chapters is about macro changes, and it talks about economics. It talks about it talks about economics is definitely one of the changes. And what I'll do is I'll be able to find the document and put it into the description box so that people can see if they stumble upon this video. But one of the things is economics and how people spend money, basically, and then it goes into macro changes, which is regarding industries and companies, and then the 3rd chapter is regarding individual changes within a person, like how people's minds are going to be changed and how people's minds are going to be reset. And all of these things are important because it lets you know that the stuff that's happening in the world was not a random occurrence, man. It was all planned. It was pre-planned things that were done in order to try and hope to change the world. But really, the reason why I'm saying this is because it's not Esau that's really the one that's trying to reset the earth. It's really Yahweh that's going to reset the earth. I'm just going to go to the scriptures and show that there's going to be a reset of how the earth is. There's going to be a changeover of how the earth is. This is Revelation chapter 21 and verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. So what that's talking about is how the rulership is going to be changed over and change hands. And through that happening, there's going to be no remembrance of the first. There's not going to be remembrance of when Esau was ruling. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. And when Esau gets taken down, people aren't going to remember how Esau was ruling. It's going to be forgotten in time. It's going to be forgot. This is Job chapter 20. Job chapter 20 and verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, which Esau's did right now. He's got power over everything, man. If you compare how much money a Edomites got in their bank account on average compared to an Israelite, you'd be disgusted. Verse 7. Yet shall he perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? And that goes for him and his rulership. That goes for him and his kingdoms. All of these things in time are going to be forgotten. People are going to forget Esau, because really Yahweh is planning on changing over the rulership from one hand to another. And it's not going to be left to other people. So once the Israelites are in their kingdom, there's never going to be another person that rises up to rule after that. It's always going to be Israelites ruling. So people are going to eventually, over time, never remember that there was any other way that people lived outside of the laws, statutes, commandments of God. This is Sirach chapter 10, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 and verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And that's what's going to happen. These Edomites are going to be taken down, and it's going to be passed on to us. And the way how we live is going to be the ultimate way to live, because it's the way that God said that people should live upon the face of the earth. And that's going to cause for the kingdom of the Israelites to be forever. And through that, people are never going to remember any other way. After thousands of years have gone by, people are only going to remember or are only going to know the way of the Israelites, the way of God, ultimately. Because when you I recommend that people read that Great Reset document, and there's a couple of things that Lord will, I'm going to go into that document and bring out and try and read, and then hopefully Yahweh gives me the spirit to bring out the right scriptures that make sense of that, because there's very many things that are going on regarding that are important for people to hear, man. They're important for people to hear, but also it's important for people to read that themselves as well. It's like a maybe 120 page document, but there's specific things that it's important to read. It goes into the fall of the US dollar in there as well. It goes into how it basically goes into Ezra's, the 15th chapter, and says how it says something along the lines of this scamdemic can bring out the angels and devils from among us, and goes into how it can cause for people to goes into how people can are gonna maybe join onto their own people. But that's scriptural, because it goes into the scriptures and says that every man shall go unto his own people. It says these things in the scriptures. It says those things in the scriptures, man. I'm gonna read this scripture again, and then I'll end the lesson there. Because with these scriptures, it's repetitive, and it's not, to some people's ears, it's boring to hear these things, and they want people to sound like poets when they're bringing this word out. But it's about the importance of the truth rather than the way how it's spoken, man. And Yahweh Shai spoke about that. He said that John came eating and didn't come eating and drinking, and they had a problem, paraphrasing it. And then he came eating and drinking, and they had a problem with him. Regardless, they're going to have a problem. Revelation 21 and verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I saw John, and I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And that's talking about the Israelites. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And that's what's going to be beautiful for the Israelites, man, because right now there ain't nothing but tears. There ain't nothing but pain among the Israelites. And the ultimate Israelite of our nation, Yahweh Shai, which this scripture was showed at the start of the lesson, he was sweating so much that he bled. He sweat blood. This is Luke chapter 22 and verse 44. And being in agony, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat was as it were great drops of blood falling down to the ground. So the Israelites have had much stress, man. Especially the Israelites that believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, because they're trying to fight the evil spirits that are surrounding this world, whereas everybody else has already been overcome by these things and just has accepted that that's the right way to be. But the point of the lesson, man, is that there's going to be a great reset. There's going to be a great reset, but it's not Esau's great reset. It's Yahweh's great reset. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.